there have not been any special conditions put on them. And I believe this particular question is the issue of animus toward a Latino business person. And I believe that all the other ones are pro forma passed, and they should just go straight forward. I think they should get the beer and wine license just like Masa has across the street and the other 8 locations. I believe somebody said that if they had wine or beer at 7 a.m., they open at 7 a.m., the kids going to Logan Street would be prejudiced by that. I believe that is not so. I think that's never been asked of anybody else.
Remember, we're going to do, I'll get you to Sheila. We're going to do on just so we're clear on the rules for today. On all items we have before the agenda, we're going to have 5 minutes for, 5 minutes against the item. Each intervals are 1 minute. So if you're speaking for an item or against an item, you get 1 minute. And that's how we're going to handle all the issues tonight as board members. And we'll have public comment as well. If there are members of the public who would like to speak on any item. So what we have before us is we have the main motion and an amendment that's been done. So if we can focus at this point our comments on the amendment, and then we'll take the vote on that after we do public comment, and we will get going. So is there anybody who's speaking in favor of the amendment?
I have an issue with that, because sometimes now we're speaking in favor or against.
Yeah.
Just
Okay, if you have general comments, that's fine. We have general
Fair
comments.
enough. So you
We'll
know
note
that
those.
those people in 2
Yeah,
categories. that is-
we'll note those as well. Good point. So is there anybody who's speaking in favor of this amendment at this point? Mr. Torero, and then we'll go to the folks who may be opposed, and then the folks who have a general comment. Okay, so Mr. Torero and Ms. Bach.
I'm in favor, Mr. Segal.
Excuse me?
I'm in favor
Okay,
regarding,
then
but
Ms.
I still don't understand what went wrong, the conditions or what they're requesting, the planning and use regarding the liquor license. I mean, I'm not clear, so
They're in the minutes. You want to read the minutes, and Mr. Raquel and Mr. Hubert can answer some questions. So then we have Mr. Torero, 1 minute, and then Ms. Baca, and then Ms. Mendoza for 1 minute. Mr. Torero.
I am one of the members of this neighborhood council that favor investment in our community. I am also one of the members of this committee that favors that we must obey the law. I think that bringing conditions on to approval of licensing that already have conditions that are imposed by Fed, state, and city goes beyond the power that is granted to us, especially if it's not related to the law, but to the personal views of those that are trying to impose it. At this time, I will ask my fellow members of the board to approve this license as being requested without any type of conditions put on to it, except those conditions that the Fed, the state, and the city imposes on all licensed holder of beverage and alcohol.
Thank you. Ms. Baca, 1 minute.
I'd like to just use the actual transcript provided by Apple One, page 2. Andrew Garcia makes it really clear that the neighborhood council is discretionary to collect input, that there is no decision, they don't have any right to impose any conditions, they make recommendations. But what I really want to point out is Barbara Rausch's comment. We know that you are not going to serve kids, but it's the influence of kids seeing drunk people at your establishment. I think the tone of this meeting was disrespectful. While what's reflected in the minutes, how you read it, I see that there was a lot of hostility in the give and take with Alvin Pinero in having us impose a condition on his alcohol, which we don't have a right to do. You know, so I do think they deserve to have the same use for the restaurant as Barragans does, as 15, as everybody else does, without having us put a condition on it that's not in keeping with the zoning administrator or alcohol, the ABC.
Thank you. Then I'll have Ms. Mendoza, and then I'll get to Mr. Baca. Ms. Hubert.
I will support Rodale to have a liquor license. And I do want to remind the public and people that it's the first time here. This is a business that was vacant for 20 years, and and it was a restaurant. And Rodale took over the business about 10 years ago. They also own Happy Towns, and they've been doing good, and they have other businesses. So I don't understand, because I haven't been able to read everything, but I do support the liquor license for them to have it. Thank you.
Just for the record, it is a beer and wine license.
Oh, beer one.
Mr. Butler and Mr. Tudor.
Clarification, are we talking about approving or being against the amendments that we recommend?
Right now, what's before us was the original committee recommendation, which set voluntary hours and conditions. And then Mr. Raquel offered an amendment to not have any of those, but just what the state ABC.
So I should wait to say I'm against that.
Well, yeah, so we have room for one more pro speaker. Now we'll do folks that are against. Mr. Hubert, were you for or against the amendment or general comments?
I'm against the amendment.
Okay, so then we'll vote against, so Mr. Butler and Mr. Hubert. You get 1 minute.
Okay. Real quickly, I was at the meeting and actually Mel and we weren't hostile, I don't think, toward it at all. The real issue is we're a community. I am completely 100% for granting these people a liquor license. What they really want to do is they want to compete with the kids coming out of the ECHO in the evening. It's going to be a great way for them to compete with other restaurants in the evening if they have a beer and wine license. I'm completely 100% for them so they can do that. Every establishment that has become, before the Planning and Land Use Committee, MASA, 15, help me out, Darren, there was MASA 15 came before us, and I know that there were a couple others, always come with a list of product, most recently, ECHO. They all come with a list of conditions. The reason why they do it isn't because of laws about what's legal and illegal. The reason why they do it is they want to be a positive, contributing member to the community. So what they're saying is, we're not only going to obey the laws, but we want you to welcome us into the community. So here's what we're willing to do, and we don't even need to do it. That's why these kind of conditions are important, because there's a lot of people out there that are completely sensitive about us granting liquor licenses. And if we force these establishments to come in and say, we want to be responsible about when we serve liquor, it makes it an easier conversation to get community support. So once again, I'm in favor of it, but granting no conditions, I think, is really highly irresponsible, especially when we're talking about the community.
Thank you. Just for the record, we've also been joined by Mr. Argueta from District 4. Commissioner Hubert, 1 minute.
Sure. First of all, I'd like to say the standard liquor license goes from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Part of the discussions that we have with people that come before us, they don't come before the neighborhood council just so we can say yes or no. That is correct. We are advisory. Them coming with conditions as well as communicating with the neighborhood council is to show their intent and connect with the community. As we continue to speak with Rodeo, we found out what their intent was. They want to stay open late and they want to serve the members coming out of the ECHO. That's fine. They didn't start there, they ended up there. We understood that. We just wanted to make sure they weren't going to serve in the morning, which we didn't expect them to. That's all we wanted listed. It's a very reasonable request. This board can choose to implement no conditions. Certainly, if they set a standard, Mr. Stabata spoke of there not being conditions on previous owners and it being a racist thing. That's absolutely ridiculous. They've all had conditions. Mr. Stabata can turn anything into racism if he chooses to, which he typically does.
Thank you. Okay, members, that's it in terms of anybody else who may be against the amendment. Then what we're going to do, members, at this point, I don't have any public comment cards before me on this item. Is there any members of the public who would like to speak on this item? Seeing none, public comments closed.
Point of order.
Yes,
Anybody
sir.
who's ever been involved with ABC has a rule that's no liquor sales before 10 o'clock. So that's been part of the rule. So there's going to be no liquor sales in the morning. I worked with that for a lot of years.
A lot of my license